So welcome back to the channel, guys, and we're back in the garage again as always. As you can probably tell from the title, we're going to talk about winter riding. So I've probably mentioned before the fact that I actually ride all year round. I very rarely dip the bike away. Like last year, I only actually put the bike in the garage for a couple of days throughout the year, especially in the winter and stuff like that. So we're going to talk about winter prep, but it's not going to be the usual how to store your bike for winter. It's going to be what I do to prep my bike for riding throughout the winter. So what we're going to talk about today is actually using ACF50, so anti-corrosive formula for the bike. And what it does is just help sort of protect the bike and drive out any moisture, stops moisture from getting in, also lubricates as well. If you've not heard of ACF50, it was originally designed for aircrafts, but it has been a big thing on the motorcycle scene about actually protecting the bike, and it's great. So I bought this bottle for about £30 I think it was last year, gave a coating or two over the winter just to keep it protected, and the bike was perfectly fine. And I've still got I've got some in there and still some in the spray bottle as well, so that'll be enough to do this year as well. So £30 for 2 years isn't bad at all. So we'll do the whole bike. It's probably a few prep things you got to do beforehand. Like yesterday I cleaned the whole bike and I got right into all the small bits, the nooks and crannies, try to clean it as much as possible, ready for today for spraying it, because obviously you're going to spray that on, it's going to protect the bike from moisture, so you don't want to trap any rubbish in there, any moisture, anything like that. So get it as clean as you possibly can. So I went over with the hose, every sort of brush and cloth I could find, just to try and get it as clean as possible. Before we actually start, there's a couple of things you might want to prep beforehand. I'm going to put down a dust sheet as well, because the mistake I made last year as well was I didn't put anything down on the ground, and for about a week after spraying the bike, I found that the surface of the bike, surface of the floor was actually quite slippy, because obviously it is a lubricant as well, and I had to properly wash the floor and everything. So I'm going to put down a dust sheet and some bin bags as well. I might put some of them down just to make sure I don't get anything on the floor. Also, because it is a lubricant, you don't want anything on the tyres or the brakes and that, so I'm going to use the bin bags to put them over the tyres to protect them, because as I'm spraying, I don't want any rogue bits of the spray going onto the tyres or the brakes and that, because last time I'd be is out in bad weather and suddenly I'm slipping because of something I've done. So that's going to go over the tyres, and of course I'm going to use some latex gloves as well, just to protect my hands. You know, the stuff is oily and it's not very nice, but a pain in the backside to get it off your hands, so I'm just going to use them and try and limit how much I actually get on myself. What we'll probably do is, once we've got all the preparation done, we will spray the bike. We'll do the whole bike, just nice and small quadrants and stuff like that, just to try and make sure we get everything covered from all angles and everything, and then we'll probably leave it on there. Last year I left it on for about 20 minutes, half an hour, and that seemed to be perfectly fine. I think because it's a bit later on in the evening, I might just take the opportunity and just leave the stuff on all night and just make sure it fully penetrates right into all the small bits, all the nooks and crannies, and then I'll come back tomorrow morning and I'll give it a bit of a wipe over to get all the excess off. I think that's what I'm going to do this year, and we're going to see how that goes. So let's jump to it. Let's start prepping the garage itself and the bike ready for the spray. Now that I've got the floor covered, what I'm going to do now is cover all the wheels with the bin bags. So what I tend to do is take a bin bag and I'll cut it down the sides of the bag as well, and then I can just throw it over the bike. I've got my bike propped up on a wheel chock rather than necessarily a side stand. It's just what works best for me, so whatever suits you guys, do that. And so let's just go on with that and get the tyres covered. Right, so now that we've got the tyres covered over the bin bags protect them from getting any spare on, what we're actually going to do is apply the ACF50 itself. I am going to use the spray bottle that comes with the pack. Might have to go through a couple of bottles, and it is okay. It's an alright way to apply it. It can be a bit fiddly, especially when it gets slippy with the spray bottle and stuff like that. There is also aerosol cans as well. I've not used them personally. I know some people, people like my Send Flyer, he's done a few videos on it as well, and he says he doesn't like the cans as much, so that's actually why I went for this method. So go check out his videos as well on how to do it, but this is just how I'm going to do it. So I'm going to get the latex gloves on, and we're going to start working our way through methodically through the bike, spraying everything we can, and then just letting the ACF50 get into the bike and onto it and protect it as much as possible. So here we go. So we're just about one bottle down, and we've done a good amount at the front. What I will let you know is the fact it can be used on electronics and stuff like that, so it doesn't stop any connectivity between the electronics and stuff like that, just in case you're aware. So get it right in everywhere you can, onto the fuses, onto the lines, all that sort of good stuff as well. And don't be stringent with it, get it on there, get a good amount on there, get it right in there. You can see with my hand, I'm using it to just spread big areas and stuff, so things like the tank and stuff, that which are a big open area, I'm using my hand just to spread it all over there. And then what I'll probably do later on is possibly get some a brush and just get right in with a brush, just to get it right in all the small bits or the more delicate bits, but I don't want it to spread too far, but I want to get it onto places and stuff like that. So that's just about one bottle. There's a wee bit in here, but just about one bottle down. We'll fill it up, and then we'll just continue working our way through the bike. Welcome back, guys. It is the next day. I just ended up leaving it overnight to let it all just sink in there and get into all the nooks and crannies. Like I said, you could have left it half an hour, and it probably done just as good a job. That's what I did last year, but it was late last night, so I thought I'll just leave it overnight. And as you can see, the bike is fully covered. It's got right into there, and you can see on the floor actually there's a lot of droplets in there, so it has worked its way right down to the bottom and stuff. But I don't mind that at all, that's fine. But now we're about to get in the tedious part of the process, and that's essentially with your cloth going over and taking off all the excess, really. And then after that we'll probably clean the tyres and the brakes just to make sure there's nothing on there. But all we can do is get to it and start getting the excess off. This is why I say it's tedious. Now that we've got all the excess off the bike, you will see there's still like an oily residue on it, which doesn't look very nice. So what I'm going to do is then get another cloth, a dry one, and then we're going to go over the whole entire bike again and hopefully get it all nice and polished up and that. And to be honest, once it's done, if it's done properly, it looks really nice because it has a bit of a shine to it, so it makes the bike look good. But like I say, it's just a bit of a long process. So here we go again, round the whole bike again. Right now we're going over it again with another cloth and sort of polish it a bit. I'll probably grab another one again and just things like mirrors and screens and the tank and stuff, I'll just really polish up so it's nice and shiny. The more cloths you got, the better. What I'm going to do after this, then we'll jump outside and we'll get the tyres and brakes washed. What I will probably do as well afterwards is get the seat off, get underneath, and even do it inside where some of the electronics are on the bike. Take the rear cowl off, get underneath that as well. So just getting every sort of small bits it's going to get into and just make sure it's protected. Over the next few days you'll probably get a few runs of excess coming out of all the small bits and stuff like that, which isn't an issue. Just over the next few days just keep an eye on it, wipe off any bits, make sure it doesn't go onto the tyres and stuff. But for me it doesn't really bother me because I do this because I ride throughout the winter and it's there to protect the bike. Even though it does make the bike look good and sort of shine up, it is, you know, for me it's to protect it. That's what it is at the end of the day. Worth it. So I'm going to grab another cloth and do some more polishing. This is what I was talking about when it comes up when it's such a nice polish, like you can even see that reflection. So it does bring up the bike really nice, that's also why I like it, but it is so easy to protect it. Like I was saying, with even though it's very cautious about not getting on the tyres, as you can see it has got in there, so that's the stuff I'm going to wash off and wash the brakes just so it's not on there, because I mean that's the last thing I want is going around the corner and protect my bike, and yet it's the stuff I put on to protect it causing me to have a crash. Again, also the same thing with runs, you'll get small bits of runs that will happen over the next couple of days, but hey, that's fine, as long as it's not getting onto the wheels or the brakes and stuff, I'm happy with that. But it does look a bit oily now, but I'm not fussed, it keeps my bike looking good over the winter. So, and that's what it's there for. Look at that for a shot. Brilliant. Right, let's get the wheels cleaned and then I'll do a feel of So one thing I just want to point out finally is once you're all done, you just need to remember the fact you put stuff onto the exhaust and the engine parts. So next time you switch the bike on, it will smoke quite a bit. So what I normally do is just switch the bike on and let it fire up and get warm and just burn off that excess. It doesn't matter if you do it straight away or if you do it later on. So that's the bike. I've been running for about sort of 5-10 minutes, and so all the smoke is now stopped. Obviously I could have left it till tomorrow morning, but I just want to show you guys actually what happens when you first switch on. So it's nothing to be aware of, it's just burning off all the excess oil off it. But I think that is it for this week. I am probably going to do a couple more bits, probably take the seat off and get the rear cowl done underneath there, to protect all the electronics underneath there. But that is pretty much it. It is a bit of a tedious process, but for riding in the winter, I highly recommend it. And to be honest, it does make the bike look awesome, nice and clean and shiny. So there you go guys, that's it for this time, and I'll see you in the next video.